why I'm saying again, love languages is not only for the other person or your spouse to basically do certain things for you, but it's also how you should treat yourself. So let's first start with self as it speaks to love languages. And I'm seeing new people coming in, so I'll repeat the love languages again. 5 love languages: words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, receiving gifts, physical touch. And like I would have reiterated many times throughout the chat, that it all starts with you. So first you have to be reaffirming yourself of the great things that are within you, the great things about you. There are many great things about yourself. Secondly, I spoke to quality time. Like I said before, wanting to spend quality time with anybody, be it a significant other, a friend, or whomever it may be. First, spend quality time with yourself. Get to understand yourself. Get to understand the things that you like. Get to understand the things that you don't like. Get to understand some of the things that you appreciate about yourself. So invest time with you so that you set the precedent for how someone else is to treat you. Because everything in life is about a blueprint. And what that blueprint means is that you are the example. You have to set the example on the how to, the when to, and what should happen. Right? So yes, Kizzy, self-love is most important, because most of the times we look for other people to love us, but we have to love ourselves first. You know, because sometimes people would be loving on you, but because you don't know what love is, it's almost like it doesn't happen, it doesn't exist. So you have to know how to love yourself first. So like I said, I spoke about words of affirmation, reaffirming words, positive words to yourself, the things that are great about you, because your mind will waste no time on reminding you of the negative. Quality time, introspection with yourself. And then we have receiving gifts. So when we talk about receiving gifts, and let me just say, tonight I really want to focus on self as it relates to the 5 love languages, right? So everything you'd hear me keep on referring to self, because it starts with you, right? So as it speaks to receiving gifts, a lot of us enjoy receiving gifts. Personally, for me, when I did the test, and I would have done this quiz 3 times, receiving gifts would have received a score of 1, because honestly, I don't really care to receive gifts. If you give me something, I am glad for it, but receiving gifts isn't really one of my things. However, there are a lot of people that enjoy receiving gifts because it makes them feel very special. So I'm bringing it back again to self. You don't need somebody to gift you with something. You need to first identify that you are special, and you could start gifting yourself with certain things. And when I say gifting yourself with certain things, I mean something as simple as pampering yourself. It doesn't need to be extravagant or expensive. You could take a weekend or a Saturday or a Sunday, and do your nails, soak your feet, wash your hair. That is a part of gift giving to you, because you are now taking care of yourself. You could take yourself shopping, and it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It could be something very simple. You know, take yourself for ice cream. Take yourself to the movies. Now, a lot of people might find that as strange, because it's like, what? Me go to the movies by myself? But that is okay. That is okay, because what is doing, it is speaking to the 3 love languages, words of affirmation. In essence, what you're telling yourself is that I am worthy. I am worthy enough to be able to enjoy my own company. It also speaks to quality time. I am okay with spending time with myself and by myself. I am good company for me. So if I'm good company for me, I could be good company for somebody else, because a lot of times we are not good company for ourselves. So damn straight nobody want to spend no time with you, right? And as it speaks to receiving gifts, you taking yourself out, that is a way of you giving yourself a gift. And like I said, when it is you do these things, you set the precedent for how someone is to treat you. Because my thing about it is, all the time, sometimes we go into when you wait for others to do things. Exactly. So, but when you wait for others to do things, you tend to hold yourself back. So as it speaks to receiving gifts and that dynamic, right? It's like this. I always make this joke. So you're accustomed going out and having, let's just say, white oak. You're accustomed drinking white oak and Sprite. No knocking on white oak and Sprite, because I am a lover of white oak. and Sprite or White Coke and anything that is. And all of a sudden, you pick up somebody and, oh, well, no, I want a glass of wine, or you want something more expensive. Obviously, that person would have been observing you all the time and noticed that you're a White Coke person, so how is it today all of a sudden you want a glass of wine? So what, in essence, that is going to mean is that they're either going to keep shoving you off, or they're going to keep giving you White Coke and Sprite because they know you to be a White Coke and Sprite type of person. So be the example of what and how you want people to treat you. Be the example of what and how you want people to treat you. Be the example of how you want people to view you, because a lot of times we want people to see us in a particular light, but we are not being the example of that, right? So I'll keep repeating myself again every time for the love languages. We spoke about words of affirmation. We spoke about quality time. We spoke about receiving gifts. Now I'm going to transition into acts of service. So acts of service is more in the doing, right? So what the books speak to and what I understand it to be as well is more so the things I have a hard time doing. I would appreciate it when somebody could take up that mantle and do it for me, right? So, sometimes, all right, a prime example, I might really like to cook. So I could call Joey, or for matter of fact, I may not even have to call Joey. She'll call and she'll say, babe, I pack lunch for you, right? And let me tell you, it can have nothing better than that. It can have nothing better than that. Like, my whole day is made, my cup run it over with love and with everything else, because it's like something that I was unable to do for myself, this person is now doing for me. So that's what it talk about as it speaks to acts of service. When somebody could see you have a need for something, or see that you lack in a particular area, and without you even having to ask, they could pick it up and do it on your behalf. Now let me bring acts of service to the person, to self. As it speaks to acts of service, like I said, it's more so about you having a challenging time to do something and somebody else doing it for you. But when it comes to self, I keep reiterating, it has to start with you. You have to not all the time you might want to do something, but you have to see the bigger picture. Sit down and assess a situation. Okay, if I do X, how is it really gonna benefit me? How is this going to add to my table? And after sitting down doing that, sometimes it may be very overwhelming in terms of, oh gosh, boy, like, this is too much to do. This is too much work. I could do without this. But then there are times after going over it enough, you might be able to say, you know what? I could do this bit by bit. Little pieces, just break it down, and I could get it done. And that is a great thing to do, because sometimes the hardest things that we have to do for ourselves is the things that propel us the furthest in life. So as it speaks to acts of service, like I said, do the hard work for you. Do the hard work for you. Be willing to do the hard work for yourself, because a lot of the times the things that we won't do for ourselves, we do it for others. So why can't we do it for ourselves and put ourselves in a better position, right? And finally, the last love language is physical touch, right? That was my secondary love language. So if everybody that knows me, now, kind of funny, I don't really like people touching me. I really don't like people all up in my space. I don't like people all up in my zhush. I don't like it. Like, I need people to back up a little bit. I need you to kind of like back up. However, physical touch for me, right? Yes, Joey, it's Piggy. Oh God. Yes, physical touch for me, what that means is intimate relations with the person that I'm with. I enjoy that to the fullest. For those of you who would have been on my live prior, like I said, sometimes we take for granted the value of sexual intercourse. Sexual intercourse is not just getting down and dirty. You exchange a lot of things. You exchange a lot of bodily fluids. You exchange spirits. You exchange energy. And I don't know if most of you will. I hang around a lot of old people and have hung around a lot of old people. And yes, Kizzy, go and get a glass of wine. Oh God, no, you can't get a glass of wine. Drink a bottle of water. As it speaks to sex, sometimes we take it very frivolously. I have done so in the past. We all do it. We all lived our best life out here in these streets, starting it up. But at some point in time, as you start to get older, you really need to start to understand the level of how sex itself. Because like the older people say, when you're sleeping with a man or a woman, you're not just sleeping with, oh, thank you, Aliyah. You're not just sleeping with a man. You're not just sleeping with that woman. You're intertwined in different things. Like I said, not only fluids, not only bodily fluids, but I'm also talking about the spirits, that your energies, those energies are connecting in different ways. You might even be mixing and mingling with that person's demons. And it's a serious thing. Sometimes we take it for granted, but it's a serious thing. You ever hear people talking about, well, I sleep with this one and it's like my whole life blight? Sometimes people could really blight you. They could really blight you. So, like I said, physical touch is my secondary love language, but physical touch on the intimate level. And sometimes people misunderstand intimacy and basically isolating it only to sexual intercourse. Intimacy has many different levels to it. To be intimate with somebody, you don't always have to be sexual. How to put it? To be sexual with them. You could be intimate via conversation. You could be intimate with that person via just sitting in their presence and without even saying a word. You all are having a very intimate moment because your soul's connecting a particular type of way, or your spirit's connecting a particular type of way, that words are not necessary for both of you all to feel a particular type of feeling. So, like I said, physical touch, yes, I understand that it is like, touching and feeling. And yes, physical touch in the book spoke about intimacy as in sexual relations, but it also spoke about intimacy on another level. Like I said, conversations. Just when you and somebody click, you can read their mind basically, So I really want to just touch on another aspect of the physical touch. Not, like I said, not all the time physical touch has to be about this, What it also speaks to is non-sexual ways that you and your partner could connect. And I would speak to your partner here because in that essence, that is what it is. You and your partner can connect. But in essence, you could connect with yourself as well. I mean, we're all grown here. And in order for you to know how you like to be touched, you should experiment with yourself. And it doesn't have to be vulgar. It doesn't have to involve anybody else. You could do it in your own private space. Touch yourself in a particular way and see how that makes you feel. So that when it is you do get into a relationship or situation, you can now invite that person into your space and guide them to how you like to be touched and what that touch basically gives to you and how it makes you feel, right? So, like again, I want to reiterate the fact that the 5 love languages, yes, a lot of people would say, well, I'm in a relationship yet, or I'm nothing committed, so what's the point of me even reading that book? It starts with you, baby. It starts with you. Everything starts with you. You are the example. I'd say it again. It starts with you. You are the example of how you want to be treated and what it is you expect in life. So therefore, the 5 love languages apply to you just as much as it applies to your significant other. You have to understand what your love language is, how you receive love, because a lot of times people will be doing things for you and you're not receiving it because that's not the way I want it. It's like, okay, you're doing it, so what? But that's not what I want. So it's like you send somebody for pizza and you probably like a little pineapple on your pizza with pepperoni, whatever that is.